Hi Scholar, we are more than halfway through our SPM English speaking 10 video series session by Map of English. Today we are going to be looking at the 6th lesson, okay? I'm Teacher XJ, and in this video, after my reading session, I'll be explaining to you on how to analyze the question, elaborate on your answer, and point out what you should be aware of, like the past 5 videos, okay? So have your booklet and your notebook at the ready, and without wasting any more time, let us begin. Alright, as usual, we are going to start off with our SPM English Speaking Test Part 1. Now, let's see what topic is in store for us today. Good morning, I'm Teacher XJ, and this is my colleague, Mr. Matthew. He'll just be listening to us. May you introduce your name, please? Good morning, madam. My name is Amira Gomisa. You can call me Ain if you want. Alright, Candidate A, could you tell me about your family? Sure, I come from a large family. I live with my parents and 4 siblings. There are 7 of us altogether. I am the 3rd youngest child and am one of the 2 daughters of the family. What about you, Candidate B? What's your name? My name is Krishna Vishnu, madam. Do you have any siblings, Candidate B? Do you get along well with them? Oh no, madam, I am the only child. However, I do see my cousins quite often and we get along well together. What activities do you do together? We will usually meet up on Friday or Saturday. It depends. Sometimes we would catch a movie together. Other times we would relax in our rooms and play games with each other. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions about movies. Candidate A, what is your favorite movie genre? Why? I would have to say mystery. This is because I would feel excited to crack a code or puzzle, and I would always attempt to solve the mystery faster than the characters. Watching mystery movies is a good way for me to work on my critical thinking too. It is good to learn something while enjoying yourself at the same time. Candidate B, can you tell me what is your least favorite movie genre and why? My least favorite movie genre would have to be romance. Personally, I don't watch any romance movies, but my sister does. And sometimes she makes me watch them with her. I often find romance films full of plot holes, illogical, predictable, and boring, which is why I don't enjoy them the slightest. I see. Thank you for the explanation. Okay, so speaking of explanation, we are going to transition into part 1 explanation, alright? So for both candidates, the elaboration is good. I don't think it's so long to the point that they're going to spend like more than 30 seconds talking about it. But as usual, here's a friendly reminder to not talk for too long. Okay, both of them, they are asked about their favorite and least favorite movie genre. So movie genre, what is it? It's basically types of movies. You have comedy, mystery, romance, horror, fantasy, science fiction, sci-fi. Okay, all these things. Alright, so candidate A said that her favorite is mystery, and she elaborated why does she say that mystery is her favorite. Okay, because she feels excited, okay, to crack the code or solve the mystery, and would try to solve the mystery before the characters. Attempt is another word for try. Okay, and then she also mentioned like another reason why she likes watching mystery movies is because it gives her time to work on her critical thinking skills as well. Okay, candidate B mentioned his least favorite movie is romance films. Okay, and then he mentioned the reasons why. He finds it full of plot holes, it's illogical, it's predictable, it's boring, and that's why he does not enjoy romance movies at all. Alright, so I think the question here is very simple. Just in case, I think another extra question you can prepare aside from your favorite genre and least favorite genre is what is your favorite movie? If they ask you what is your favorite movie, you can talk about the title, okay? And if you still remember who's the director and which year this movie is went on live, or went on in the cinema lah for you to watch, you can just mention like 2 or 3 sentences of what is the plot, what is the story of the movie. Alright? Okay, we are going to move on to our part 2 of our SPM English speaking test. Alright? As usual, please refer to your booklet to take a look at the title, okay, that has been given to you, yeah? I'm going to be starting my reading now. Now, in the second part of the test, I'm going to give each of you a topic and I would like for you to talk about it on your own for about a minute. You also need to answer a question briefly about your partner's topic. Candidate A, you shall go first. Here is your task. I would like you to talk about a vacation you have gone before. First, you have some time to think about what you are going to say. You may begin. I went on a 3 days, 2 nights vacation on Penang Island during my last school holiday. My father had taken the entire family on the trip as a reward for working hard the whole year. I was absolutely mesmerized by the fact that I was able to see the sea everywhere I went on the island. Of course, we weren't going to pass up on the opportunity to taste the local delicacies such as kway teow, Penang laksa, and Hokkien mee. They were indeed delicious and tasted much better than the ones I had before. No wonder these food are popular throughout Malaysia. We also made sure to enjoy the cool breeze on Penang Hill, marvel at the beauty of butterflies at Antopic, and best of all, had the time of our lives visiting Escape Penang, which is a dry and wet theme park. There were 2 interesting things I learned on my trip, which is that most Penangtis speak in Hokkien, even the children, but their Hokkien differs from the Hokkien of where I'm from, which is Johor. I was also surprised to learn that Penang has a lot of hotels. I swear there are at least 3 hotels at every corner I turn. This shows that the island is a popular tourist attraction. The preparations people should do before going on a vacation is to do a research on the place that they are going to visit. They should know which hotels to stay at, the facilities nearby their accommodation, types of transportation, as well as plan out their itinerary on places to visit. Next, they should make sure to book their hotels and flights early to get a cheaper rate. Around a week before setting off, they should look up the weather forecast and prepare the needed items such as sunscreen or umbrellas. Thank you, Candidate A. Candidate B. When was the last time you went for a vacation? Where did you go and did you enjoy yourself? My family and I had gone on a 8 days and 7 nights trip to Hokkaido, Japan during the summer. I enjoyed myself immensely with its food and anime street. Thank you. Candidate A, I would like the booklet back, please. Candidate B, for your task, I would like for you to talk about an accident you have heard on the news. First, you have some time to think about what you are going to say. You may begin. An unfortunate news which I had heard on the news was an international one. It was about a submarine which had imploded with its 5 passengers as it had ventured down too deep in the ocean. An implosion refers to the instance where something had collapsed violently inwards, and the incident had happened so quickly that the passengers themselves didn't even have time to realize that they were in danger or that they were going to lose their lives. I believe the implosion happened in 1 millisecond, where our brains would take about 25 milliseconds to respond to danger. The main reason why the water accident had occurred was due to the submarine that had went on an exploration that was not made with the correct procedure, and nor was it approved by the government to dive underwater. Even the passengers were required to sign waivers to let them know what they were getting themselves into. I definitely think that every single person should go through accident prevention training. As they always say, prevention is better than cure. With the amount of technology and vehicles available, it is difficult to say when and where accidents would happen. Hence, it is a good option to educate everyone on aspects such as how to recognize danger, what places to avoid, as well as basic medical training such as knowing how to stop bleeding and provide CPR. Thank you. Candidate A, at what age do you think people should be taught how to take care of themselves to prevent accidents? Why? I think they should start at the age of 5. But of course, we should start with the easy parts such as teaching children how to cross roads as well as stranger danger concepts. Then as they grow older, they can be taught about more complex situations and how to deal with said situations. Thank you. Candidate B, do return the booklet to me, please. Alright, let us transition into our part 2 explanation. Okay, as usual, we have some things to cover right here. So the first topic that we have received, for candidate A anyways, is asking us where did we go. Alright, so we mentioned where did we go, which is to Penang. So I added on a little bit of extra information saying that candidate A, say that she went on a 3 days, 2 nights trip, 3 days, 2 night vacation on Penang Island. Alright, she also said when. Alright, and then what activities that she did there? She went and ate ate a lot of local delicacies, visited a lot of those like popular tourist attractions. Okay, and then there are two new things that she has learned here, which is everyone in Penang, even the children, speaks Hokkien. Oh my goodness, you can see there's a typo for one of my Hokkien, so just ignore that, yeah. And then the last question is, as usual, a factual question. What preparations should people do before going on a vacation? Alright, so as usual, you need to rely a lot on your elaboration skills. Okay, and then let me show you like a sample if like you don't have anything to elaborate. Okay, during the last school holidays, my family and I went on a vacation in Penang. When we were in Penang, we ate a lot of delicious food, which are kway teow and Penang laksa. We also visited popular tourist attractions, which are the Penang Hill, Escape Penang, and Entopik. One interesting thing that I learned from my trip is that everyone in Penang speaks Hokkien. The preparations people should do before going on a vacation are, they had to research where is the place that they are going to visit and what activities they could do there. They should also remember to book their hotels and their flight tickets in advance. And before setting off, they should look up at the weather forecast to prepare the clothes that they need. You see, it's so short, right? Okay. So, oh yeah, let me just elaborate from the beginning. Like in the beginning, I gave like a very simple explanation. Okay, alright, so they asked us where did we go. We mentioned we went to Penang, and then the next sentence, you can see the one in black, is actually an elaboration. Okay, we are telling why our father has brought us there, because it's a reward for everyone who has worked hard throughout the entire year. Alright, and then what activities did we do there? Aside from mentioning the food, you can also mention like what did you feel when you taste the food? It was so delicious. I understand why everyone is always complimenting about how great Penang laksa, Penang kway teow is, all those things. Okay, and then other few tourist attractions we visit, right? So we again need to add in a little bit of elaboration, a little bit of description, a little bit of adjectives. Like Penang Hill, we all know on top of the Penang Hill is a very cooling area. So we say, we went there to do what? To enjoy the cool breeze on Penang Hill. So we went to Entopik, sorry. What is Entopik? So we say in the beginning, we went to marvel at the beauty of the butterflies and Entopik. Now we all know it's a butterfly farm. Okay, and then we say that we had the time of our lives. This is an idiom, means that we had the best time ever. Okay, visiting Escape Penang. Now we are thinking, what is Escape Penang? It's actually a dry and wet theme park. You see all the description, just a very short one. Don't even need to talk about a lot of things. Okay, and then this is like from my personal experience about the part where I learned that Penang has a lot of hotels. I went there last year on like a trip to do like research and stuff, and I was quite surprised. It's like every corner, every street I turn, I see a hotel somewhere. Okay, so that is something that is interesting to me. This shows that the island is a popular tourist attraction. Okay, so the preparations that people should do before going on a vacation, I think like if you've been on any vacations, you will know this. Okay, you need to do a research on what places, what spots you can visit. Okay, when you are on vacation. Okay, and then you must know which hotels to stay at. What are the facilities that are nearby? Are there any trains? Are there any buses? Are there any shopping malls and all those things? Okay, what types of transportation? Okay, you have to plan out like an itinerary, like a list, a schedule. Okay, of on which day, where do you want to go and what do you want to do that. That's the itinerary. Okay, and then you have to book your hotels and your flights in advance. Why? To get a cheaper rate and to make sure that you actually have a seat or actually have a place to stay before going off. Alright, and then a week before setting off, need to double check the weather forecast to see whether it's going to be a sunny day, rainy day, windy day, or whatever, and pack the items that you need. Okay, which are what? Sunscreen, umbrellas, which is it? Okay, so these are all very, very dependable on your ability to elaborate, to be honest. Okay, alright, candidate B, let's see. So the topic that he received was about an accident, so I decided to talk about the news of that submarine that imploded. It's not exploded, it's imploded. Okay, on the news that happened like a couple of months ago. But if you are not someone who reads the news or whatever, just like make up like a accident, a car accident or whatever accident that you saw, you witnessed, you were involved in. It's okay, yeah? Okay, so they ask us, the first point was asking us what was the accident. So we talk about this was the accident, okay, that we heard on the news, which was about a submarine which had imploded with its 5 passengers as it had ventured down too deep in the ocean. So here at the same time we brought forward the third point, which is were there any casualties? Were there any casualties? It means that how many people were hurt, or if there was anyone who was hurt during this accident. Okay, so it imploded with 5 passengers. We already covered it in the first sentence when we are telling the listener, we are telling the interlocutor what was the accident about. Okay, and then how did it happen? So you must start from the beginning. What happened? Okay, so we mentioned that this submarine, it actually didn't have like any license. It didn't have like those safety precautions or whatever, or it was not even approved by the government before it went down to explore the ocean. So that's why it imploded, and that's why like the people there lost their lives. And then you can also mention that, you know, it all happened so fast, the submarine imploded so fast that people on board didn't even realize that they were in danger and they were gonna lose their lives. They just snap and they just are goners already. Okay, and then we say that, you know, the main reason why this underwater accident had occurred was because this submarine was not made with the correct procedure, and the passengers who were boarding this submarine, they actually had to sign a waiver. It's something like a contract, okay, to let them know that they're in danger. And extra information, this contract, right, they have to sign it to let them know that if like you die or something happened to you in this expedition during like the exploration or whatever, you cannot sue us, something like that. Okay, so it's a rather unfortunate incident. This is like an extra point that I added in for you guys. If you don't want to use it, it's okay one, no problem. Alright, so you have to look at your, how fast you speak and how much time you have left. Okay, and then the last question, as usual, is going to be a factual question. They ask us if it should be mandatory. Mandatory means compulsory, if it's a must for everyone to go through accident prevention training. Okay, yes, we say that I definitely think that every single person should go through this accident prevention training. Why? Because prevention is better than cure. Okay, so with the amount of technology and the facilities, the vehicles that are available, it's difficult to say when and where accidents would occur, when they would happen. So this is a elaboration, which is why it's a good option to educate people on how to recognize danger, how to avoid danger, as well as basic medical training such as knowing how to stop bleeding and provide CPR. Okay, like those basic things lah. Okay, that you're supposed to know to prevent accidents or prevent something from happening to you. All right. Okay, so as usual, please know how to elaborate your answers, yeah? Alright, now we are gonna quickly move on to our SPM English Speaking Test Part 3, a discussion. So please take a look at the mind map in the booklet that has been given to you, yeah? So I will start my reading now. Now, I would like the both of you to talk about something together for about 3 minutes. The task consists of 2 parts. In the first part, you will discuss something with each other for about 2 minutes, and you will have another minute to make a decision together in the second part. Let's begin the discussion. Regardless of a person's upbringing and their life experiences, each individual has a goal they work to achieve. Here are some ways on how people should work to achieve their goals and a question for you to do your discussion with. You now have some time to look at the task. Now, begin your discussion. I would like to begin. In order to work towards a goal, one must know what it is that they want. They need to be honest with themselves and think about what achievements they want to achieve, such as if they want to become a businessman or a lawyer. They need to have a direction to begin with. Because if they don't know what they like or dislike or what they are skilled at, they wouldn't achieve anything by the end of the time. I agree. Knowing what you want is a good way to start planning your long-term goals. However, we must remember to set realistic and achievable goals as well. Since we are still students, and if we want to become a businessman in the future, we must make sure to take the relevant courses such as accounting, business, and economics during SPM. With a solid foundation in this knowledge, we would then need to apply for a related degree during university too. It would have been unrealistic if we were to venture into the business world having zero knowledge about it, because if we don't plan, we plan to fail. Let's not forget that we must evaluate our progress as well. If something is not working out for us, we should not deny that we have a problem and must set out to solve the issue. If we don't, the only party who will be suffering at the end is ourselves. An easy way for us to evaluate our own progress is by looking at our academic reports and assignment scores. Are we doing well or are we behind our peers in certain subjects? These are the questions which we could ask ourselves consistently too. Now that we are still students, we should grasp onto any opportunities to learn and always consult an adult, guardian, or counselor to make sure that we are on track with our goals. We should also allow ourselves to make mistakes and be chided about it with the purpose of learning to become better. One important thing which we must remember is that the adults present in our lives are always there to guide us to make better or correct choices. Hence, we should accept their critiques, opinions, or feedback with open minds. With the convenience of the internet, it is easy for us to look through the endless free sources that the people with similar goals with us have shared online. With references to their experiences and paths, we can make our plans accordingly to our needs and take the steps which are applicable to us. If we don't understand certain things they have said, we could either ask them or read out the information ourselves through the internet. Last but not least, learning new skills that will be useful and beneficial to us in our goals is certainly a small step to take. In order to fit in with the goals and expectations of the 21st century, we must be diligent in learning important skills, such as leadership skills, collaborative skills, critical thinking skills, as well as computer skills. We can't just rely on reading on how to use these skills, and must ensure that we would take the initiative to apply these skills in real life. That way, we would certainly be able to polish our skills enough to use them effectively. You have to decide together which is the most effective way for people to work towards their goals. Personally, I believe that learning new skills is the best way for people to work towards their goals, especially if they start early. That way, they would have more time to practice and polish their skill set before venturing out into the real world. I would have to disagree with you, I'm afraid, as I believe that knowing what we want first is the most important. In fact, the first step to work towards the goal. Think about it. It is only when we are sure of our goals then we are able to plan the skills that we need to become successful. Now that I heard your reasoning, you are right. Knowing what we want first is indeed the foundation of all our actions that will lead to our end goal. Thank you. I would like to have the booklet back, please. You have been discussing ways to release stress. Now, let's hear your opinions about this. Do you think people should work hard or work smart? Thank you. I would like to have the booklet back, please. You have been discussing ways to release stress. Now, let's hear your opinions about this. Do you think people should work hard or work smart? I'm a firm believer that people should work hard, as when they set their minds and put their hearts into learning something, they would never fail and would receive returns for their efforts. You see, not everyone is born with a talent, and there are many individuals who have achieved what they have achieved today through hard work. Working smart is the way to go for me. In my view, not everyone will have the time, leisure, or finance to work on their goals, which is why they need to think up easy and convenient ways to achieve their goals in a shorter period of time. In fact, people who work smart will save more time as they are using their brains to think up quicker solutions to their problems. Thank you. That is the end of the speaking test. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired reading out all these things. Okay, but without further ado, let us jump to the important part. Probably the most important part of this video, which is the explanation of your Part 3 SPM English Speaking Test. Alright, let's see. Candidate B is the one who started the discussion, okay, and there's no there's a mini introduction here. Okay, in order to work towards a goal, one must know what it is that they want. But here at the same time, it is talking about the point, and he is using more elaboration, okay, here, which is they need to be honest with themselves and think about what achievements that they want to achieve. Okay, they also need to have a direction to begin with, because if they don't know what they like or dislike or what they are good at, instead of saying what they are good at, you can say what they are skilled at. They won't achieve anything, okay, at the end of the day or by the end of time. Alright, so he didn't use like any examples here. It's more like elaboration and reasoning going on. But I feel like the last sentence, right, I would also consider it as an example at the same time. Okay, and then candidate A continued the discussion by agreeing with what candidate B has said. Okay, and she also transitioned into her point, okay, after she agreed. All right, and then she said that, it's good to plan for our long-term goals, but we must remember to be realistic, okay, to set goals that we can achieve. All right. And then she gave something like an example, like since we are still students, we are like in our Form 4 and Form 5, and if we are planning to become businessman or businesswoman in the future, now we have to take the courses that are relevant, such as accountancy, business, or economics. Okay, because you think about it, right? If you're gonna be, let's say, a doctor in the future, but you don't take biology, you don't take physics, you don't take chemistry, how are you gonna be a doctor? Right? Because a doctor at the very least needs to have biology. Okay, same things goes with like business. You need to have accounting, business, and economics as your subjects during your SPM. Alright, and then she did her elaboration by saying that, with a solid foundation in this knowledge, we would then need to apply for a related degree during university. Okay, because it would be unrealistic. Let's say we study to become a doctor, and then we then decide we don't want to become a doctor, we want to be a businessman, and then we just venture into the business world with zero knowledge about how the business world works. That who is the one who's going to be suffering at the end of the day? It's going to be you, because you don't have any foundation, you don't have any knowledge about anything. Okay, so it's always very good to plan ahead with realistic and achievable goals. Alright, candidate B continued the conversation. Okay, he said that he started off with his new point. Okay, we must also evaluate our own progresses. Alright, for example, like if something is not working for us, we must change the way that we are doing this thing or find another solution to our problem. Why? Because again, like what I said earlier, if you don't try to solve the issue, who is the one suffering at the end of the day? It's still you, right? If let's say we are in a house and our roof is leaking water, and if we don't fix our roof, later the roof's going to be a hole, and then when it rains, more water's going to come into your house. You're the one who is going to be suffering, not your neighbors, right? Okay, so when you have a problem, fix it. Okay, and then he also like gave out like a sample question for us to ask ourselves whether we are doing well, whether how to evaluate our own progress. Like, are we doing well or are we behind our peers in this particular subject? Okay, if we are above them, okay, obviously we are doing well. But if everyone is like scoring, let's say in your English, okay, if everyone is scoring like 80 out of 100 and your score is 50 out of 100, you are well behind. All right, so these are the questions that you can ask yourself constantly to evaluate your own progress. Okay, but what's most important is that you need to be honest with yourself and don't be delusional, or in your TikTok terms, don't be delulu. Okay, all right, so candidate A continued the conversation again and said that, now that we are still students, we should we should grasp onto any opportunities to learn and always consult an adult to make sure that we are on track with our goals. Okay, and then she elaborated by saying that we should allow ourselves to make mistakes and learn from it. Okay, and another thing that we must remember is the adults who are scolding us, who are giving us advice, they are present in our lives, okay, to guide us to make better or correct choices. Okay, which is why we should accept their critiques, their feedbacks, or whatever with open minds. Okay, don't think that they are picking on you. They are not picking on you. Okay, because if they are willing to put away some time for you to give you some advices, okay, on how you should do things, you should, listen. Okay, I mean, I don't mean by listening 100%, but in our previous lesson we kind of covered that, so I'm not gonna like elaborate much on that. And again, that would make me naggy. Okay, so candidate B agreed with the next point, okay, by saying that with the convenience of the internet, it's easy for us to look through the endless free sources that people with similar goals have shared online. Okay, and then he elaborated by saying that with references to their experience and their past, we can then shape our own path, okay, our own paths, and see where we want to go, okay, and which system or which steps are relevant or applicable to us. Okay, and then if another type of elaboration, if we don't understand something, always ask. Okay, or if we don't want to ask, we're feeling very shy, it's okay, just look out for the information to read about it on the internet, right? Because the internet, like candidate B has said, is endless free sources. It has endless free resources, which is why we all should take advantage of it. Okay. Alright, the last point. Okay, candidate A started off by saying, last but not least, learning new skills would be useful and beneficial for us in our goals, and this is certainly a smart step to take. So if you want to, it is better, okay, during your speaking test for you to like mention specifically what kind of new skills are we referring to. Obviously, these new skills that we are learning, it has to be useful for us in the long run, maybe in university, in work, okay, which are what? Alright, we must learn leadership skills, collaborative skills, critical thinking skills, as well as computer skills. Okay, because, and she also mentioned, she elaborated further by saying that we can't just know about the existence of these skills, we must put into practice. Let's say, if I say you need to learn how to make a poster, and then you go and watch a video on YouTube on how to make a poster, you're like, oh, I know how to do already. But you never actually make the poster yourself. You're just watching someone else make the poster. You see, that's you not applying the skill that you're learning. You're not practicing. Okay, so by the time you need to make a poster, you suddenly realize like you don't know how to make a poster, or the poster looks terrible. Okay, something like that. So it's always to put the skills that you learn into practice. Alright? Okay, and that way we would certainly be able to polish our skills enough to use them effectively. I keep wanting to say efficiently. Okay, so yeah, this is how you what do you call that? Look at things or learn things in real life. Okay, so yeah, by putting into practice and think about what is important and what is relevant to you. Okay, so in the part where they have to discuss, okay, which is the best point, okay, to pick and all those things, candidate A said that learning new skills is the best way for people to work, and she gave a little bit of elaboration. Okay, they would have more time to practice and polish their skill set before venturing out into the new world if they start early. Okay, and then candidate B unfortunately disagreed with candidate A. Okay, because he believed that, then he gave his reason why he disagreed. This is his reason, and at the same time he's speaking the best point. Okay, he believes that knowing what we want first and having a goal allows us to be able to plan the skills that we need. Okay, in order for us to become successful. And then candidate A, okay, if you are candidate A now and then candidate B disagrees with you, just agree with whatever candidate B has said. Okay, it's not your speaking test, right? It's not like if candidate B's point, if you accept his or her point, and you will lose mark. No such thing. We are just testing you on how you can do your discussion, how fluent you are in English language. That's it. Okay, so no worries. If candidate B disagrees with you, just agree with whatever candidate B has said and give elaboration. Okay, and then now that I've heard your reasoning, you are right. Knowing what we want first is indeed the foundation to all of our actions that will lead to our end goal. Okay, so just agree and do a little bit of elaboration is fine. Yeah. And then the last question that they ask you, okay, something to do with stress as well. Okay, and then they ask you like, do you think people should work hard or work smart? So I gave you both point of views. Okay, candidate B said that he believed people should work hard, because when you put your time, your mind, your effort into learning something, you will never fail and you will receive returns for your efforts. Okay, and he mentioned this like, not everyone is born with talent. A lot of people have to achieve what they have achieved today through hard work. Candidate A, on the other hand, talked about working smart. Okay, because she said that not everyone is privileged to have the time or the finance to work on their goals. Okay, which is why working smart would allow them to think of easy and convenient ways to achieve their goals in a shorter amount of time. So this, obviously, when you finish something in a shorter amount of time, you'll use less time and you will use less money. Okay, and she also said that furthermore, people who work smart, they also have better thinking skills because they are able to work their brains quick to search or to think up for quicker solutions to their problems. Alright, so yeah, that is the end of our 6th lesson. Remember, your best competition is yourself. Okay, who is your competitor? It's you. Okay, it's not the whoever is the first place in class. It's not whoever is the first place in school. Okay, what you must do, right, is like your performance today has to be better than your performance last week or yesterday. You see, that's why I say your competitor is yourself. Your competition is yourself. Always make sure that you're constantly improving. Do not compare yourself with others. Of course, we want to win against others. That is our human nature. But it is best for us to win against ourselves, because you must remember, what if one day you're on the top, you're the number 1, let's say, and there's no one in front of you? Is that when you are gonna stop working hard or doing your best? No, right? So your next competition would be yourself, right? So it's better for you to just start now. Your best competition is yourself. Let's say you previously in your test you scored 41 out of 100. So next time your competition is yourself. You want to score better than your first test. So next time you score 55 out of 100. You see, you beat your past self already. So that's why I say your best competition is yourself. I like how always at the end of our video sessions, I'm like always basically giving you the advices and like motivation for you to perform better. So like I hope that with this burning passion okay, or this newfound motivation, if you have found like motivation and stuff, would allow you to perform better in all of your tests, especially if you're super duper worried about your English speaking test. Alright, everything's gonna be fine as long as you work hard, okay, and you practice. Alright, okay, that will be the end of today's lesson. We are like 60% through. Oh my god, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of me as well. Okay, and then take a break and then eventually come back and learn about the remaining 3 lessons when your mind is at the best place. Alright, so I'll see you in the 7th video. Bye, scholar!